honestly couldn't have been more wrong. Like, I think that and there's a part of me that goes, darn, really wish I had watched this earlier and had grown up with it.
j'arrive à j'ouvre hold my edge d'évoquer.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Ocast, your island gateway to all things geek. And please remember to like, subscribe, follow, give us a good review and all that good stuff. Helps us out a lot. And I am very thrilled to welcome back after a bit of sabbatical, Rhiannon. What's happening with you?
Hi, Carl. Absolute pleasure to be here as always, and can't wait to sink our supernatural claws into a bit of this. Very
And
excited.
First time ever on the podcast, Heather. How you doing?
I am good. Yourself? It's actually really cool to kind of finally get to do one of these.
Yeah, because
I was going to say welcome.
Yeah,
You will
first
never
time
leave.
on the podcast, but by no means a stranger to either of us. So with that, as you can tell, my voice is barely keeping it together right now. So I am going to do the noble thing and just put all the responsibility onto Rhiannon for the rest of the show. So take it away, Captain.
Any way we can help, Cap. Any way we can help. Yeah, so guys, I don't know if any of you might have seen me on the Buffy deep dive. That is usually where I am found, but obviously we are now branching out. We are taking on the supernatural. Big time fan of this business, the family business. We're going to run it probably a bit similar way to that I do the Buffy deep dive. So we're going to go through our favorite moments, our favorite little fan favorites, favorite episodes, and then also our least favorites, because it's always good to have balance. You know, there must always be balance. So I'm going to start off by introducing just a little bit about sort of my background on Supernatural. I am actually halfway through. I have not finished the whole thing for many reasons. One of them being that I started watching it, was having a really lovely time, and then my partner went, I'd quite like to watch that as well. So then I had to start again at the beginning. So really, I should be on like season 12 at this point. I think that's fair to be said. But you find me somewhere in the middle of season 6 at the moment. So I will probably not be I probably won't be able to reference later episodes, but as we get through it, I'm sure we'll learn a lot. So Heather, tell us, what is your background on the Supernatural?
I remember walking into the living room when I was younger and actually seeing my mum watching it on TV. So that was like kind of my first kind of like introduction to it, was like season 8, 9. And then, you know, no time as a teenager to watch it because school and everything. And then lockdown happened and every single episode's on Prime.
Excellent.
Lockdown viewing. And me and Callum sat and watched them episode 1 through all the way to the end of 15 in about 3 months.
That sounds like time well spent. I was knocking out Grey's Anatomy at that point. And I have to say, like, you know, it's kind of one of those, I think everybody picked something, didn't they? And they went, you know what? That has 20 seasons. I'm gonna start there.
Yeah.
But that's fantastic. So it's kind of fun because I think that means that both of us have come to this sort of maybe a little bit later. I know that, you know, a lot of folks, especially probably similar age to us, grew up watching this in our teens. I've certainly seen episodes of it and watched bits of it in my teens, but I just never really got into like a commit. I don't know if it was on like a certain, you know, like I don't know if it was like on Sky or something, like as we were growing up, and maybe I just didn't see it or didn't have access to it. But definitely I am a true believer now, and that is what matters. So I think we should probably just start cracking into season 1. I'm going to say, have you got any standout episodes? Are there any episodes that really float your boat?
I love Faith.
Okay.
So that's my favorite one, with the Reapers and Sam being sick. And I don't know why. I think it's just because you see Steen have that like, okay, so is this real? Isn't it real? Is God real? What's going on? And you see that internal battle, which is kind of later on becomes kind of relevant.
Important. Yeah, definitely. I think as well, what I quite liked about Faith is that, am I right in thinking this is where we have a recurring character for him who comes back later in the seasons? We meet somebody Reaper shaped who we maybe meet again.
Yes.
And I actually really like that as like because I think sometimes TV series we do this and they find reasons to bring someone into the story later, but actually this felt very natural, and I think it's because of the groundwork they put in this episode. like the introduction to the Reaper here, like who appeared as a woman, and she was very kind, and like kind of the perspective that she gave on this part of what could have been Dean's journey in his life at this point, was really really quite touching, I think, and quite lovely. And as you sort of rightly say, sort of brought that human element, I think, which was great.
And it's like seeing like Dean kind of coming to the terms of, okay, maybe I'm not as immortal as I think I am. Like I'm not so like I can do everything. It's like his crap. I can actually die doing this.
Yeah, it's that kind of first touch with the like actually maybe we're not invincible, the kind of gunslinger attitude that he usually has. And you know, fair enough, because even when we meet the Winchesters, the boys, the brothers, they are well, they're adults, so they've obviously, and as we come to find out, they have been in this lifestyle as hunters for forever. Like they were basically born hunters. That's kind of what's been happening since childhood. So actually, they probably kind of you know, they probably do feel a bit invincible that they've lived this long. But as you rightly say, it's that kind of first sort of shock moment for them. But yeah, good choice. Anything else? Any other standout episodes for you? Anything that speaks?
The apple orchard one as well. The one straight after
Yeah.
that episode.
Nice. I'm so glad you said that, because that was definitely going to be my pick. As me and Cal, we did the Halloween episode together. Did I mention this one? I feel like if I didn't, then I'd intended to say it in this was it. I couldn't decide between Doctor Who Blink and this episode for like favorite scary episode of TV, because personally, I think the Scarecrow episode is pretty scary.
Yeah.
And it's great as a self-contained story. I like it because it's a good layout for a standalone episode, and you could watch Scarecrow really without watching any of the rest of Supernatural and still think it's a great time. So that's kind of what I would say. Anyone out there who's maybe not willing to commit to the whole thing, but likes a bit of a spook, likes a bit of a Scarecrow episode, which I believe is episode 11 of season 1, is really good. It's definitely got that sort of natural creep factor.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely love. Whoever did the costume design for that guy must have had a field day. He was a bit sinister.
I don't know. I think I like the fact that it is just like Halloween. Here we go. Sacrifice time. It's like, here's my sacrifice to a god who we really shouldn't be doing this anymore. But hey.
Yeah, I think a lot of the reason why I actually started watching Supernatural was to scratch a bit of a Buffy-shaped itch, shall we say.
Yeah.
Because originally, I think it's in the wider family, right? I feel like a lot of folk who have watched Buffy have watched Supernatural. I think it's and I think that actually for me, the Scarecrow episode kind of reminded me a lot of that. Is like there's some episodes of Buffy where I feel like, actually, one day, please may I have a crossover, please. If they're rebooting Buffy, can I just have the Impala in a shot, like in a parking lot somewhere, whilst the Scoobs are doing it? I just want to see Sam. If you are listening out there, Jensen and Jared, please talk to people, talk to some friends, and show up in the Buffy reboot, because that would just be what we all deserve, I think. But yeah, I felt like the Scarecrow episode totally was just a lot of fun, really well self-contained, and yeah, just opened the door to the extra sort of creep factors for Supernatural, I think.
It's also the introduction to Meg while Sam's having his teenage temper tantrum.
It is Meg. I did think the actress who first played Meg was sensational. I thought they were really good. Yeah, didn't really see. I mean, when you kind of get a character who's introduced in such a random way in a show like this, I feel like you can't help but have your spidey senses tingling. But at the same time, I was surprised. I was surprised at how that took a turn.
Yeah, it was like, that's random girl, okay. And then it's like, okay, this is where this is going.
Definitely planned. Yes. No, I like it because I think that sometimes, you get that sort of, oh, it's serendipity. Oh, this is so nice. And actually, bad things happen to the boys all the time. Surely good things can happen. Again, a kind of a narrative that gets brought back up in later seasons. And you're like, no, good things don't happen. It's like, no, they are being chased by demons. I see. So yeah, no, you're right. It's a strong episode as an all-rounder. I think, let me see if there's any others that I really enjoyed.
Can I just chip in with my limited experience? So I'm only up to episode 6, so forgive me for that. Just this kind of cold knock beat, but I enjoyed that Bloody Mary episode so far. I am a kind of sucker for that's the kind of things we were taught as kids, and I love that when you take these kind of childhood stories that we tell each other, which are ridiculous, but they executed that so well that it tapped into a lot of fears we have, and about your guilt, that the guilt you carry inside you.
Yeah, totally. I mean, as you say, it's that it's that classic fear. I don't know about you guys, but I think I'd still have the Wiggins slightly if I was going to play Bloody Mary. I feel like, don't know. It's like, yeah, okay, it won't happen, but do I really want to find out? Do I wish to tempt that beast? Not sure I do.
Yeah,
don't know if I'd rock the blood pouring from my eyes look.
Yeah.
Yes,
it reminds me of something we were told in school, that there was some strange way you could make the devil appear in the mirror in the toilets in the Nicholson.
I vaguely remember that.
How do you do it again?
Sorry?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Do tell.
I think we all got told there's this weird incantation you have to do, and if you look behind you, you'll see the devil in the mirror. You have to have your back turned, but you'll see the devil, the actual form of the. I can't remember exactly what it was.
I mean,
that's I think why that Bloody Mary episode resonated. It was triggering those memories of
a
very stored
No, totally. I mean, to be honest, I'm like, thank you for the local law. I love this. They should definitely petition for a Hebridean episode. Yeah, exactly. No, I think, but it's kind of nail on the head with that as well. Season 1 of Supernatural. Now, I was saying about my partner wanting to watch it. Okay. Here is, I'm sure he's going to love me for mentioning this. He's not big on, I mean, actually, I think I've already said this in the whole Halloween episode, but he's not big on the scaries. Not really a fan. So I was watching Supernatural, vetting it at the same time. I have a list on my phone. It's absolutely true. I have a list. I will get it out. There you go. Here's absolute proof. I have a list on my phone where I rate the scariness of episodes. Now, season 1 is first episode, necessary but jumpy bits with the girl in the car. 2, probably not. The forest bits are unsettling. 3, probably fine. I nodded off. Late girl. 4, one with the plane. 5, bit gross. Won't like the jumpy bits with the mirror. Like, honestly, I have gone through I think I did up to season 3. And the one, I think that was 7, just got no. So I was like, there was no way Gav was watching Hookman. But at the same time, it was he survived. There's just parts where I kind of just got him to shut his eyes. But as a whole, I think season 1 is actually the scariest of all the seasons. If you were going to put like a bit of a sort of a tense factor on it, I like it because it does play with the traditional myths, the stuff we all know. It gets us comfy in the world build before it starts stretching out into its own story, which, obviously these days I'm not watching this one a week as it's coming out. I'm binge watching it, right? So actually to have that is quite refreshing. As I say, Cal will know from the Buffy episodes, I like a builder. I like a little side quest episode. I have no problem with that.
It's similar to Buffy season 1. I feel already kind of a monster of the week kind of starting to take it. And I'm guessing, Heather, there's more lore gets introduced as the further we go. There's a bit more of an overarching story to everything.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you kind of get it in 5 season blocks. A kind of story starts change every 5 seasons.
That makes sense. I mean, for this one, I think one of the most important episodes, even if it's not necessarily like a favorite, but an important episode, is Dead Man's Blood. because
Yeah.
this is where we meet Daniel Elkins and learn about the cult. And the cult becomes something that is like
Reoccurring, really
a
important.
very, really important, reoccurring, and almost, I mean, it kind of, we lose it a little bit later on with Bella, don't we? She sells it to somebody
Yeah.
and it goes west, which to be honest is probably for the best because this is like the weapon. This is like
If you
big boy
wanted a
gun.
weapon for like hunting demons, it's this one.
This is the business. The cult is the one. So yeah, I think it's almost for the best that it kind of got written
Yeah.
out. Like, I think they did a wise thing there because actually, from the second this drops in episode, is it episode 20? Like, all of a sudden we're like,
Yeah.
okay, this is a game changer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's true. I think like when we're looking at all the different weapons and stuff these guys use, like, we've got rock salt, big one, holy water. Like these are all the things that are their quite literally their salt and pepper.
Yeah.
But the cult is like legendary item. So yeah, it's cool to see that introduced in the first season and go like, okay, they aren't playing. Like they're gonna be dealing with some big bads.
Yeah. And it's that kind of like I like the way they write it out later on because it works when you get to the end and be like, oh, if they had this, then we wouldn't have got to this point.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It feels very natural.
Yeah. I like that episode. I like that one.
Yeah, I've got to admit, as a whole, season 1, really enjoy it. Like, there's a couple, as always, me, as I said earlier, I believe in balance. There's a few that kind of missed the mark for me personally, and I think we'll probably touch on them next. But as a whole, I think season 1 is pretty good as like a world build introduction, and giving us a good idea of what the boys are going to be about.
Yeah.
So speaking of our not favourites, Heather, what's your least favourite? What's your least favourite episode?
Bugs. Hate that episode. Why make an episode like that? But no!
Care to elaborate?
So if you haven't watched Bugs, basically Sam and Dean are like, oh, there's this weird thing going at this new development place. People are mysteriously dying. So along they go to this house and they do their thing. Come midnight, because the house is on an ancient American burial ground. The house, this, cursed land. And the curse is, hey, look, full moon, eclipse, hey, bugs. This is what's going to get you. Loads and loads and loads and loads of bugs.
Yeah.
So they're there with this, and it's just, no. It's that last big scene where they're just in the house, they've done everything, blocked the doors, that there's just these crickets, termites, whatever, trying to get in, and it's just like, makes your skin crawl. It's like, no.
Yeah, I must admit, it's kind of, it makes me, no. Like season 1, as I say, for the fact that it plays on the things that it knows people will find relatable. It's relatable content early to get you introduced to the world and get you on board. But Bugs, I did not need that formal greeting. That was, whoa, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, as I say, like, I think for the fact that it probably identifies with American audiences very, like this kind of, there's underlying sort of cultural themes there and things, which I think it is interesting because actually as well, like with TV shows, I think that they quite early on, or like good ones quite early on, identify with where they stand on an, like their sort of ethical philosophy. Like they kind of let audiences know quite early on where they stand and where they sit. So from that perspective, I think it's especially for when did this come out? Was it the early 2000s?
2005?
Yes, September 2005. Yeah, it's like, it's kind of, like that's 20 years ago. Like it's not necessarily that we were talking about or that some of the conversations sadly were not as front and center as they are hopefully becoming more so. So in that way, Bugs, great. However, gross. Why did we have to be covered in bugs? Oh my god, I hate bugs, as the guy from The Mummy says. I hate bugs. It is not my thing. But yeah, I'm trying to think. What's my least favorite? Cal, do you? I was going to say because you've been watching this. Have you got any that
I'm up
stand
to,
out as
like I
a
said, I'm only up to episode
least favorite?
6 so far, so I don't feel I've only
Okay.
got that Bloody Mary as the one that stood out really for me so far. So I don't
Okay.
feel I'm that I haven't kind of seen everything to judge what the weakest is.
No, that's fair
But what I
enough.
will say, this
I
was
will
my
say out of
so I was going to say my bias and what put me off for years was the image of these two guys, and
Mhm.
I just thought they look like the blandest, most milk toast pairing you could
Really,
have.
that's
And
so
within the first
funny.
episode, I was saying I am completely wrong. They are charismatic as hell, this
Yeah.
pair, and their chemistry is so good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and you go.
no, Heather, you carry on, please.
It's like you see it just as you'll see it as you carry on watching. The more they get to know each other as people as well, the better their acting and chemistry gets on in the set, and you can tell they're just having a laugh at points. And I think that's really because they're brothers, and then they've got that connection just kind of gets stronger and stronger and stronger as it goes on.
Mhm. Mhm. I think it's funny because I also think that I must have had this sort of misconception, like sort of like an idea about what Supernatural was like because all I had ever, as I say, I think I must have seen episodes in my teens, but like I'll put it like this. Supernatural was the favorite TV show of a boyfriend I had who was not that great. Let's put it like that. And I think that sort of inadvertently made me go, it's probably not for me. Like it's maybe not my thing. It's maybe just like some bros having some bro time. And maybe that's not
Yeah,
what I'm interested in right now.
that's what I got the vibe of from the promo material.
Yeah. And I honestly couldn't have been more wrong. Like, I think that they're like, and there's a part of me that goes, darn, really wish I had watched this earlier and had grown up with it. I will say that from the few episodes I think I did catch in my teens, I was probably a Dean girly. Fast forward, I watch it now at the grand old age of only 28, and I'm like, Sam. I realize that there is a gift for all. And actually, like Dean, I just kind of want to give him a hug and ask if he's okay. And Sam too, don't get me wrong, he definitely needs some chat. But it's funny because I either expected it to be really, really broy and for me not to have anything relatable, or for me to just be like, okay, this is simply something for me to look at two, pretty good looking fellas like are riding around in a car shooting some monsters. And actually what I got was totally different. We
Yeah,
did get broy, but we got the best kind of broy. We got proper, actual, like
yeah,
again, early
Mhm.
2000s, but opening the conversation. I think
yeah.
about like men having better relationships with each other.
In a weird way, because they start off like that, where it's like a lot of men, their friendships are very
Mhm.
superficial. I know this from,
Yeah,
well, obviously.
yeah,
And then I think you're seeing them chipping it down and they're getting a bit more, it's basically intimate and comfortable with each other. Even in the area, you can just see
yeah,
they're starting to break that down, which is a problem all us
yeah.
blokes have, like with our friendships.
I think as well the way that they make that quite the distance natural, as in like they've not seen each other for years, so it's not even like we know each other really well, but all of a sudden this trauma alone has brought us together. It's like it's not quite that. It's also we've been through a heck of a lot. We made the choices we made. Is that it's kind of it's interesting because I think that as you rightly say, Carl, it's like it's not it doesn't feel fake the way that they don't know each other. They're both just very guarded from very
Mhm.
traumatic personal experiences. And the way that they kind of slowly start to give and if you're only on episode 6, Cal, you will see this as you go on. You kind of get a lot more from this. And in the same way that Buffy does, it's like it uses metaphors a lot of the time.
Mhm.
Like, the monsters or the fights or the instances they find themselves in are often metaphors for things in real life. And it's probably a nice way to open that conversation for a lot of young men out there, I imagine.
Yep. And I'm just going to say it beats watching Xander any day. I'm sorry, I've got to get that jibe
God,
with
yeah.
Buffy in.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is absolutely valid. Yeah, it really does. And to be honest, even like, as I say, I'm sure Heather, you find it the same way. It's actually they're lovely. They are so
Mhm.
lovely
Yeah.
to watch. They're such nice boys. God bless them. Sometimes just need a bit of a hug. So let me see. Was there any that I really, really didn't like? Okay. It's not necessarily an actual issue with an episode, but skin.
Yeah. Ugh.
Oh,
Although
hey,
important, it does set up
yeah,
an
although
important monster.
important, really important, we need to know about shapeshifters. But also, ew. This is what I mean.
Yeah.
I think season 1 just has this ick factor the whole way through, which is just, man, I don't want to see a pile of goopy skin. Ew.
Yeah, isn't it? He like pokes it with his gun and picks it up, and you're
Yeah.
like,
Like, they'll be like,
why?
absolutely hanging. But yeah, no, other than that, I think that there's some great groundwork in season 1, and there's some great, wonderfully disgusting bits, which, I think we see less and less of as the series goes on, and we
Yeah.
see a lot more story and a lot less fun hunting, funting side quests.
That could have easily
Um,
ended up in another word.
no. I was going to say that could have gone very badly wrong
Yeah.
for a live, couldn't it? Crikey. But yeah, no, I think that it lays some great groundwork. You've got me thinking about it now, Gal. I'm like,
It's
I'm
in
going
your
to
head
be over pronouncing my words. Yeah, I got it in my head. But yeah, so let me see. So we've got best episodes, we've got our least favorite episodes, characters. Now, it's difficult when you're doing a first season, isn't it? Because everybody's new. So I guess we'll just say, are there any standout? Well, we can say there's any standout monsters, as you say, Cal, monsters of the week. Are there any standout monsters of the week? And at the moment, who's our favorite character? And I guess because Cal, you're just starting watching it, I'm gonna ask you where you think this will go. I'm gonna say, because where you're up to, I want to know what you think will happen for the rest of this season. So we'll start with favorite characters, and then we'll
Okay.
go for that. I'll give you a minute to think about it. Heather, who's your favorite characters? Who's your favorite baddies?
I love Meg. Meg is just evil and brilliant at it. And I think it's
She's mean.
Yeah, she's horrible, but she's absolutely brilliant at being horrible. And it's like, you see that she's, I don't want to spoil it for Cal, but she's the person's right-hand man. And you're like, wow, okay, yeah. Actually, I think she's worse than him.
There's some moments where I miss Meg, actually, at times when she becomes less and less part of the story, because I go like, actually, she was cold. She was pretty hardcore. But no, I have to say, as a favorite baddie, I think that is absolutely valid.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any of the favorites at this point?
Recurring characters, Cal, you'll meet them later on, is the Ghost Facers. They are so stupidly stupid, but brilliantly funny.
I love the Ghost Faces so much.
Mm-hmm.
I think they hold a very special place in my heart. Which episode is it that they come in? It's
right at the end of the season?
Right at
it's
the end.
It's the one where they make up the story. I think it might be.
Hell House, yes. Yeah, you know what? I would have put that on my favourite episodes as well. Because it is quite good. Like, again, it's that kind of almost, it has the layout of an episode of a murder mystery, like in the sense that you do get the kind of the clues throughout the episode as to kind of maybe what's going on. But yeah, they are so silly. And I love that they come back. And I enjoy any opportunity for essentially a fourth wall break. I think is very silly. So yes, no, I agree. They're great. I think, who would I like to see more of? Who did I feel like I've already spoken about the Scarecrow, but I also quite liked the Asylum because the people that were in there were not the bad guys. And they were just trying to help. And actually, so my partner's name is Gavin, and so I said to him, I was like, well, you have to watch that episode whether you like it or not, because there's a character in it called Gavin. And he was like, I can't do that, it's called Asylum. There's no way I'm watching an episode called Asylum. And I was like, it's not what you think. And he was like, you lie. And I was like, I don't. No, but I actually really liked that, because actually the people that had kind of lived at that hospital as it was probably operating at the time were just trying to like tell them where the bad guy was. And I was like, you're really cute. So I quite liked that episode because it was spooky but actually kind of wholesome at the same time. Because they were trying to tell everyone who the bad guy was, which was nice. Hope I haven't just spoiled that for you, Cal, by the way. Which episode's that? It's just
I'm gonna let.
what's gonna
I
happen.
think Kieran dropped a massive spoiler on me yesterday when I was giving him a lift. I told him, "Oh, I'm just sort of." I said, "I'm watching
No.
Supernatural." "Oh, you do know?" And I said, "I'm on season 1." He went, yeah, forget I just said anything. Forget the last 10 minutes of the cat
No.
ride."
Hey, I tell you what, and this is totally irrelevant to this, but it is about a spoiler. At least you didn't get The Last of Us spoiled for you when you have managed to avoid anything that would have told you about how the second game goes or the second season, and your best friend turns around and goes, "Oh, well, because when this happens," and I went, "What?" And they were like, "I'm guessing you didn't know." I'm like, I actually can't believe you just did that. So, there's some things, some people, Kieran, if you're out there, you just want to watch the world burn for
Well,
Cal, clearly.
he's been very good at keeping the Stranger Things spoilers to a minimum in our chat room. Because
Yeah.
we're waiting on
That's
Emily
good.
watching that right now because she's waiting for her daughter to come home and then they can sit and watch that.
Yeah,
But I will
fair
say,
enough. Well, we'll have to get him on here so then he can spoil
he
away
can
on here.
defend
That's
himself.
fine.
He'll have to defend himself.
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
so far it's Dean for me, and that's just a little bit of bias because one of my favorite shows of all time, the same actor was in, and it's very similar character he played. Have either of you seen Dark Angel, the Jessica Alba series?
No, I
You know of it?
haven't. But
No.
yeah, I know about it because we were talking
there was
about it,
only ever
weren't
2
we?
seasons made of this. But it is kind of worth
Yeah.
it because you see the actor like a few years before, and you can see, well, that's kind of his audition tape for Supernatural is basically that show. It's very, very similar. You can
think
see why they went for him.
I think a lot of the time, Jensen Ackles, he did say he was in one of the panels that he did or whatever, and his wife apparently turns around to him occasionally is like, "Don't talk like Dean." She was like, "You're not Dean. Stop talking like Dean." And then other times she's like, "No, say it like Dean." And I'm like, "You are so real for that. You are so real." She's literally like, "Don't come into my house and talk to me like Dean." Like, and then other times like, "No, do. Actually, that kind of works." Girl. But it's funny because actually, because they were doing it from when they were so young, it must have an impact on you as a person. Like, especially when you're recording 20 odd episodes a season, you must be, recording, shooting for such a long time that how do you start separating that sort of at home character? And as you say, he's, Jensen Ackles has been on screen for a very long time. So it's nice that his efforts in Dark Angel got picked up. And maybe we should go away and watch that and we'll be able to talk about
Well,
that
that's
at
a nice
later
quick
time.
retrospective on like all the others we've decided to tackle. Because this is how this
Yes,
show
yeah,
ended up.
absolutely.
Was we
Another one to
put
the
the poll up
list.
on Facebook and Supernatural won by a landslide when we suggested this.
Well, there you go. I hope we're giving the people what they want. But no, yeah, cool. So we've got favorites, we've got good baddies, and Cal. Where do you think this is going to go? From here? So what's
No
your
idea. I have no
inkling?
idea. I just know there's going to be some overarching plot and there's something to do with the dad. And I'm not. I could usually.
Okay.
I think.
Let me say, by the end of season 2, what do you think will have maybe happened to Sam or happened to Dean or happened to Dad or happened to have you got any ideas, like things they might run into or encounter?
There's going to be some special or surprise lineage. That's my guess. There's something about their lineage, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Because it seems to be very family. A lot of talk about their dad and them. And I'm getting like this kind of Star Wars vibe. That there might be like this is who your grandfather actually was. So that's what I'm getting.
Interesting. And you know what? We will check back in with you on that. We will. That is, maybe we'll just have to do that for every episode. Be like, Cal, it's like, where do you think this is going?
Just
at least next time,
plot the graph of where it goes and where I am and see if we ever meet.
Yeah. That's fun. We'll have to do bingo.
And the other thing, it was Heather pointed. Bingo. I just said the thing Heather pointed out when I started watching was, yes, this show is very naughty. The style of it is
the blue filter over everything.
And you know what? We love to see it. This is what I mean when I say it scratches the buff itch. That's why I started watching it, because I was like, okay, I have now seen Buffy more than I should have, I think, at this point. So I need something else that is similar. And it has that fun, loving quality, the 2000s filter. God bless. Like, honestly, bring it back. I think one day we will see, like, much like Stranger Things, there will come a time where somebody recreates, like, a, whatever the show is in 2040 as it would have been made in the 2000s, because that will be cool. Like, that will no longer be something that is shamed and feared for its greatness. But yeah, that filter is real. We love to see it. Okay, amazing. So I'm thinking we've covered the good stuff, we've covered the less good stuff, we've got the good baddies, and we've also had some bad baddies. We love to see it. Whereabouts have we got any questions in, Cal? Has anybody left anything with us this week?
Hold on. Is that a question just came in there?
Not at the moment.
Yeah, we've had one. I will show it on the screen if you fill in the dead air for me.
Fantastic.
I don't know.
Not at all. The dead hair. I was going to say, well, it's supernatural. There we go. Oh, I'm planning to watch the show. Totally. All right. This is from Gosha. Hi, Gosha. I'm planning to watch the show. Totally fresh. Is there anything I should just roll with in the beginning? Slightly awkward early season dialogue. A character who's still being written into shape. Okay, interesting. Heather, do you want to take the lead on this one first?
I think you just kind of have to deal with Sam's temper tantrums. They get a bit boring after a while.
Yeah, I feel like it's, as we kind of said, it's that teething period of their two guys who haven't seen each other for years, went through probably really, really awfully traumatic stuff as kids. And actually, it's like, when people come home for Christmas, right? It's like everyone goes back into their old sort of routines and roles in a house. And sometimes that can come across as like quite childish and uncomfortable, because those aren't the people we are anymore. But for some reason, it's who we are when we turn up in the Impala. I don't know. So I think there is, at first, it's a bit odd because they're finding their feet.
Yeah, and I think Sam also forgets that it's not just Jess who's died like this. It was also Sam, their mum, and Dean saw it. It's not just him. And I think he forgets that. He goes into this bubble like, this has happened to me. I'm so hurt. And it's like, hang on, chill your beans, move on. It's also happened to other people in your circle.
Yeah. I guess it is difficult for Sam, though, because it's so fresh.
So fresh.
And also he thinks it's his fault, which I think is a bit tricky, isn't it? Because it's like, yes, you're absolutely right. He saw his mum die. He's probably always, because of and I think actually it's because of the kind of characters they are.
Yeah.
Rather than the circumstances in which we find ourselves presently. It's like Dean is the kind of person who would have given everything for his mum. So he thinks that him not reacting quick enough is like a failure, or him, like we see a lot of how that impacts him as a man. And also with Sam, he is so hot-headed. He is so, me and my dad always clash. I'm like, can't imagine why the apple didn't fall that far from the tree, did it? So it's like, and also we see that and sort of the growth of his interpretation of it's all my fault. Like they've got a lot of trauma and a lot of shame going on, I think, especially in the first season. But it's definitely worth watching them, I wouldn't say grow out of it, but maybe grow with it.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, because I don't think things like that could happen to a person and for you to just forget, right?
Yeah, because obviously I've seen it all the way through and then went back to season 1 again, which I still haven't finished because life has been chaotic.
Yes.
And it's like, I forget how much of a moody teenager you are.
Yeah, big time. Big mood. I think as well for Sam, like, it's interesting because these big feelings we see in season 1, as I say, like, it's not like it goes away, but it is that eventually it's kind of put to bed in ways that are much healthier in later seasons. But I think the most natural thing for him to do, in a sense, as a person, when he sees his big brother and he sees his dad and he's not been in a family setting for a while, is probably to act like a child. And actually, if he's been through a big traumatic moment, that's probably what you would do. Like, you know, you're not going to be a rational adult. Like, what is he meant to be, like 22 or something in the first season?
Yeah.
How old is he? Like, I don't think I know any 22-year-olds personally who I would think that they would have to be chill and rational if that's what they've just been through. Scratch 22. I don't know anybody who should have to pretend to be okay and rational after going through that. Yeah, I would say, Gosha, push through. You will find the good bits. There's some sprinkles of magic along the way, and bonding and healthiness.
And it's what this will be a question more for you here, because you've watched the whole thing through.
Yeah.
Like, there's 15 seasons of this. How, like, does this relationship still stay interesting the whole way? Because if it does, I'm really impressed that to pull that off for 15 years.
And you kind of watch them learn how to grow with each other and kind of like navigate things that happen. Like, you'll find it like season 2 and 3, Sam goes through like loads of things, but he hides it. He hides it from Dean, he hides it from everybody else in his circle. And then you kind of see later on in the seasons, it kind of happens again. Stuff starts happening again where, you know, it's Sam and he's like, whoa, and he actually shares. You kind of see it from the seasons. They learn how to grow and how to manage each other, but at the same time, they're still really hot-headed with each other at the same time. But
I think, as you say, it's like there's some things that are a person's personality, and there's some things that are like, it's like you kind of learn to adapt, and they are knee-jerk reactionists, but again, they've lived and grown up in an environment where that kept them alive from things that go bump in the night. Like, you know, I like the fact that so many episodes in Supernatural where they're like, oh, I wish these people didn't have to know that these things were real. And though in that instance, that's us, the audience, you know, they're like, oh, it is, you know what I mean? Like, in the sense that it's like, we are civilians. We don't know about these things, but seeing it through their eyes, they're like, oh gosh, you know. There's a couple of episodes that we'll come to, one of them being the one with the gin in a later episode.
I love that episode.
Love that episode. It's heartbreaking. Oh my God, we'll get there, Cal. We will get there. But like, at the same time, you see that from their perspective, actually, if they could have had anything, and it's interesting to see actually kind of like who they become and who they also decide that they are.
Yeah.
I think that's quite important too.
So this show doesn't do an X-Files where it initially landed so strong, the X-Files, and then just vanished, really, without a trace almost.
X-Files slander so early in the evening, I see. No, kidding.
It was just, I was aware, you know, I grew up when the X-Files was hitting, and those first 2 seasons where everybody talking about in school, non-stop. And then at the end, is it season 2, like when is Mulder still alive? That was the big, and then it's like, once they went from that story of the week and then the big conspiracy, it just started to creak a bit under its own.
The truth is out there. Is out there. I mean, didn't ever stop me from buying, like, what is it? Is it 9 seasons?
Is it right?
Is it 9? Is it 9 seasons? I think I had 9 seasons in the film on DVD.
I remember when they announced the finale for X. I just remember the finale being announced, and I was like, "What?" We thought it ended 5 years ago. It kind of did just slide. But there's no risk of that with Supernatural.
It's
I'm
kind of
guessing.
No, 11 seasons. I don't know why that. Sorry.
But with Supernatural, it does kind of stay fairly strong all the way through.
Yeah, I struggled with season 7. Really struggled with season 7.
Interesting.
It's not the strongest season at all, but it's important for another character's story, but it's not the strongest season overall. But then it kind of, like I said, the seasons kind of come in arcs, like 5-season arcs. The story kind of changes slightly, but everything's still relevant previously to what they go through.
So the characters are always kind of growing and developing as we go along.
Yeah.
Guess we'll see as we continue this deep dive on the old Supernatural. Now, when we are, as I say, I'm kind of running this off the cuff a bit like the deep dives, but we tend to rate where we would put season 1 in our favorite seasons. when we do the Buffy. Now, Heather, obviously, I look to you. I can only go out of a couple of seasons at this point. Cal, I'm assuming currently season 1 is your favorite season. So
Yes. Oh yeah, it's the best Supernatural I've ever seen yet so far to this point.
it's the best season so far. Yeah. So Heather, where does season 1 sit for you out of all of them?
I think somewhere in the middle. I'm not quite sure. Season 1's really strong overall, and it's the season where it's like monster of the week before everything gets super serious further down the line and setting things up. But I think it's an important season at the same time, so it sits somewhere in the middle.
Interesting. Yeah, I think of, obviously, as I say, I've only watched, I'm like halfway through. I would put it probably quite high, but that's because I really like short stories. I like standalones. I like short stories. Despite enjoying really long series of TV, like I do like things like that where I can dip in and out of it. For that reason, at the moment, I would probably put season 1 maybe second. And that's only because other season that I would put before it enjoy a lot of the sort of immediate character development as well as some sort of story wrapping and some other recurring characters, Cal, who you will come to meet. Azazel in particular, I think is a great character. And yeah, there's some others that the standalone episodes alone are enough to make me go, I love that season. So I think if season 1 isn't necessarily my first favorite, I think it's probably quite high, but just from the type of TV that I like watching. And obviously, you get to meet them for the first time and go, look at them. They're full of rage, unresolved problems. Oh, God bless.
One element we haven't touched on is the soundtrack. Like both the scoring and
I love the soundtrack.
the music they listen to themselves, which is a really smart decision, I thought, because then it doesn't age the show as badly as that blue filter did. If they had gone with new metal, this would have been quite difficult to watch if they're listening to Limp Bizkit and all that.
I think as well, it really lends quite nicely into Dean's character that he wants to be his old man more than anything in the world.
Yeah.
Or that the kind of the growing in John's shadow. He wears his jacket, he wears his car, he wears his music. It's like, and actually, I think that as much as it is very much a part of him, I think you're right. I think it keeps the show in a sort of reasonably flexible time space, and it is, despite the blue filter, I think still stands against the test of time, as you say. For the soundtrack is a huge impact.
Yeah, and like even just the fact he still uses cassettes, he's not using CDs, all that kind of stuff. It's like somebody's all trapped in their past and trying to live up to their father. It's like really quite clever, that I thought. Because if they had been putting in like a Limp Bizkit CD or who else was there at that time, I blocked out a lot of the new metal.
Evanescence. That was 2003. Yeah,
Well,
that was the
surely even they wouldn't have gone for Nickelback.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I feel like that might have been Dean's guilty pleasure.
Yes.
I feel like I can see a scene in front of me where like Sam comes back to the car and he's like, could have cut it as a poor man steal it, and then he's like, and then changed it over. Like, I can totally see that, and yeah,
or a Chad Kroger demon that possesses him or something. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, well, I tell you, Paris Hilton shows up at a later date.
That is such a good episode.
That's
really
a
brilliant episode.
It's really funny.
I hope is she.
But yeah, so
does it come across that she's at least self-aware in the episode? Like it's taking the Mickey out of herself.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool.
I would go as far as to say she was entirely doing that, and it was very funny, and I liked it.
Right, that's really cool. I look forward to
that. We will definitely get to that episode at a later time. Yeah, so that's kind of everything I feel like I need to say, to be honest, about season 1. If I was going to do a wrap, it would be it's good groundwork, gets you a feel for the universe that they're in, sets the scene for development. I think generally builds a sense of sort of foreboding of what is to come. I would say it's the scariest of all the supernatural seasons I've seen. After that, we get very grounded in a sort of core storyline, and it's not we don't really deviate from that after season 1, really. So if you want sort of fun episodes that give you that classic sort of teenage horror story vibe, but they're an hour long and they play some AC/DC in between, I say season 1's a good time.
Yep. The way I would sum it up, it's like Buffy crossed with Millennium is the best way. That's kind of what it feels like to me. I'm just going to say, like, the cinematography as well. This is a great looking, apart from the blue filter, which you banged on about, but the cinematography, soundtrack, it is an exceptionally well crafted show. It looks fantastic. Like how they've edited it and everything. There's been a lot of work put into this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agreed. What about yourself, Heather? What would be the summary for season 1?
Saving people, hunting things, the family business is literally the whole season.
Yeah, that is excellent. Yeah.
So I think
Dan's gone on a hunting trip and he's not been home in a few days.
I think I'm gonna say some words now which will probably terrify Heather. As you know, Heather, I like to write a good quiz. So we're gonna test your season 1 knowledge.
No.
Don't worry, I've not gone on Google translated quotes from this series. Nothing. It's just straightforward trivia on season 1. Yeah, it's just the mention of me and quizzes just puts fear into a lot.
I can't remember what I did yesterday.
It's okay. We always get. I don't think I've got one of these right.
This should be so. Question 1 for you guys: in the pilot episode, what supernatural entity do Sam and Dean hunt in pilot episode?
A woman in white.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ridge.
Okay. Question number 2: what is the name of Sam's girlfriend who dies in the pilot?
Jess.
Yep, correct. Which episode? Which episode introduces the Wendigo and how is it killed?
2, fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. See, you don't need to worry about it.
We know more of this than we thought we did.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, in Phantom Traveler, what phobia of Dean's is revealed?
Sorry, say that again.
In the Phantom Traveler, what phobia of Dean's is revealed?
It's not Sam's, because Sam's
Flying?
is clowns.
Dean's?
Yeah.
Dean's.
Yeah.
Flying, yeah.
Yeah, it's flying. It's a plain episode.
All right, who's the psychic that helps Sam and Dean in Home?
It's the blonde that plays Adele in Grey's Anatomy.
No, I'm going to have to...
No, I can't remember her name.
It's Missouri Mosley.
It's not... there we go. Missouri Mosley.
Okay,
We did you dirty, I'm sorry.
In Dead in the Water, who's the ghost haunting the lake and why?
It's the police sheriff because he killed him.
Yep.
He killed the boy when he was little, didn't he? In Lied.
Yep. And do you know the name of the guy? Remember the name? Peter Sweeney was the name.
There you go.
Okay. What is the real name of Bloody Mary as revealed in that episode?
No.
It's Mary Worthington.
Well,
right.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, we mentioned this earlier, so this should be a home run. Which episode features a shapeshifter who takes Dean's for him?
Skin.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I think this. I even put this in the Ocon. Put this in the Ocon quiz 1 year. What is the make, model, and year of the brothers' car?
It's a Chevy Impala. 1970. No.
1968.
16. Yeah, 16.
Down. Almost there.
67.
Wait.
Yes.
wait. Nice. I did it was 68. That was close.
All right. And what's the name of Sam and Dean's father?
John Winchester.
There you go. See, I'm not so bad at these quizzes, am I, Heather? I mean, I know
I have to say the seat.
I mean, Rhiannon, you have to go to the Ocon quiz next year and feel the atmosphere towards the end of the night as the whole place just turns on me.
Wants to kill you, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, excellent. It's like we're all just there sharpening our pitchforks, I assume. It's like the last one that you did for the Buffy deep dive was horrendous. I was like, that's like, to be fair, if we'd had one of those for season 1 and season 2, I think I would have done much better at it. But season 3, I was like, I just hadn't prepared. I hadn't got myself in the space.
Yeah.
That's my
I think
excuse. That's my excuse
it's
for
just
knowing
because
absolutely
it's
nothing. There you go.
become a regular feature now in our shows, the quiz, because I just can't get enough of
Yeah, I
writing
like
quizzes.
it. I think we should definitely keep that going. That's fun. Amazing. Well, don't know about you guys, but this has been an absolute pleasure. And
Heck, it
I'm very
has.
much looking forward to seeing how, how the rest of the seasons unfold for both myself and for Cal and for Heather's watchful eye as she
Yes.
as you see us go through this process. Yeah, and
Yeah.
maybe we can get a few more of the OCAST members on the show who have seen.
I do know one or two are very interested. They just weren't available tonight, but this has been a great little team. And thank you, Heather, for coming along. And I hope you've enjoyed your first.
Yeah,
Is this your first ever
absolutely.
Yeah,
podcast?
this is my first one. Yeah.
Hooray!
Podcast
Well, we
event. Oh,
hope
yeah.
that this is it now. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's
it.
like,
You've got the
that's
bug.
it. That's it. No
And that the
escaping now.
quiz, and that the knowing
Yeah.
that I write quizzes for this as well, that's really terrifying.
I kind of half expected it at this point.
I think I'm getting that reputation, just the evil
Yeah.
quiz master, just writing questions all the time to torture people. All right, everyone, thank you for tuning
Serves us
in.
right for claiming to be know-it-all.
Right, thanks everyone for tuning in, and thanks to my lovely co-hosts tonight. And remember, everyone, if you've enjoyed, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and give us a review. It really helps boost us. And we'll be back sometime very soon. I don't know what the next thing we're recording is, but I'm sure it'll be another blast. So good night and take care, everyone.
Night-night.
Bye.
Okay, and